Hello world, Patricia O'Connor and Frida Reba Darcy here, and what are we looking at? Well, it is our Saturday night at Frida's place, and let's see. Wait a minute. Hold it. There would be Frida in the red. Boom. And what we're looking at here is a couple of things. One of Elizabeth Cruttenden's beautiful unglazed tiny pots, and behind that is a Terra Cota pot with the top of some kind of little pine tree sticking out of the top of it. That's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to combine those things with some of the other ingredients. And I brought in a number of pines, and I wanted to look at them because on singularly they all look a little ratty this time of year, but singularly they look okay. But when I looking down at all the trees, I go, yeah, the color's a little off when you're just looking at a patch of trees. And so, to my way of thinking, maybe a little cleanup was in order. So I decided to bring some in, and the project just popped out at me. The Terra Cota pot you see behind this one has one of our little pine trees that we folded last fall. So it got planted in a milk carton, and that in a like quart wax milk carton, and that started getting a little soft and spongy and stuff. And I decided I still have one, I think, planted like that. No, I've got it. That's the second pot. It's sitting in a cup. That's kind of different. Anyway, I transplanted it from there to the Terra Cota pot, but I already had wired the tree, and I didn't so much do anything to it as I just put like a half of filled up substrate in that little Terra Cota pot, and then kind of slip potted the pine, as it were. And because of that, it didn't get wired down. Now, that's the only tree that I have that isn't secured down to its pot. Well, that's not true. My seedlings aren't, and the Terra Cota pods that you see in the very, very far back, that has what's called a bow peep, which is basically you make a long staple out of wire and just kind of bobby pin that down there, and that's worked absolutely fine. This pot, not so much. That little pine tree has been through hell. It has the size of the base of the pot makes it a little bit more susceptible to tipping over whenever I put it on the baker's rack that I put all the trees on out on the balcony. And if I put it on something more solid that would be more stable, then the one hole that it has in the bottom, because it's not an orchid pot at least, it wouldn't drain well. So because of that, it's been kind of tipsy, and it's tipped over twice, and it has unrooted itself once. And I've always not cared for the idea of not wiring your trees down. And because of that, this tree has had a couple of mishaps, and we're going to correct that tonight with this little pot. That's kind of where we're going there. So I've got some tools standing by here on the coffee table. I've got Frida standing by on her pillow looking at me like, why'd you stop with the... And I think we're ready to go. I don't intend to do a lot of root work with this. This is dug in some. I'm going to take my little weenie skewers, and we'll just start breaking the substrate up a little. We'll give that Terra Cota pot a little tip, and in so doing, hopefully relax the whatever taproot or whatever that was. I'm not looking to do a whole lot of root reduction, but I don't really know that I've ever addressed the taproot on that either. So we might give that a look and see if anything needs to be done. A quick look. Ooh, okay, so we've gotten that out of the way and we've kicked camera. That's always important. This is one of Elizabeth at Hanada Ceramics. This is one of her unglazed pot. I love this pot. I just am really impressed with it. This tree is better than what you can see looking at it. I think it will. I think it'll be. It'll live up to this if we just do right by the little guy. And this is. I've already wired. I've got a piece of a heavy gauge of copper wire. I bent the ends up. That way you see the wire itself is not super tight against the ceramic, but this little spiral that you can see there is actually these two guys, and I've already got a screen down there in the bottom. So as far as that is concerned, we are ready to go. If we look deep field, now there's our victim / little pine tree that we're going to be potting. And behind that, I've got my little cauldron of some substrate. So we should be pretty much ready to go here. This is I've got a lump of, this is the food that the tree had, and we're gonna just move that out of the way, and then take one of our chopsticks. And here's what we're looking at. This little guy here, maybe I can enlarge a little. This little guy here, you can kind of see it's not real stable. This was kind of a Bo Peep type staple. That lasted until it got tipped over, and all this stuff that that you see me taking out now, it's kind of gotten watered down a little. But it's already been replaced. It got replaced because when the tree tipped over, it all went south. So then I'm not replacing it as much as I'm replenishing what has just fallen out. Also, you may notice the color, despite its hardship, the color on this tree is a little better than some of the others. And that is for the reason you can see behind you. This tree has still been getting fed around the calendar. So it didn't have the situation that the other trees in bonsai pots had, where they were going without fertilizer, without plant food, without biogold more specifically. And this guy was trying its darndest to really, I guess that's why it didn't go rolling across the balcony when it didn't really get tipped over and hit the ground. It just got tipped over on the rack. Wow, that was, yep, they were going straight to the bottom. Okay. The point in this to me was not to totally disrupt these roots. Okay. And you could so here's our plug, and here is there is our roots. You know what? We're gonna behave. I'm not really messing with repotting season on this guy. So we were never really overly intending to go too root crazy. I'm just kind of now looking at our angles and possibilities. What are we? That looks kind of, do that. Could do that. Gonna make a little room right quick. So there we go. We are off into the races. I could have, always do that. Little much there, Patricia. Okay. Now this is our guy. I'm just trying to I do. I think that might. I think that might be our okay. Oh yeah. We're still in the show? We're still kind of in the show. Oh my goodness. That wire, that copper wire feels really strong against this little root ball. I'm gonna go the other way with it, I think. Yeah. I've got you. Nothing too crazy. Now, And then the tree trunk falls in half. Just kidding. Whoops. It would almost be fun to see some poor person's, some unfortunate person's blooper reel from exhibitions, bonsai tree displays or exhibitions or something. You know, there's probably some good stories out there. We did 0 root reduction. We just took what was there and raised it up in this tiny little pot a little bit. We planted it in a smaller pot, but the roots weren't going to town in the pot that it was in already, so it's not like we did a whole lot. What I'm not so crazy about is the part where the tree comes horribly on the ground there. Okay, so ooh. This little guy had a lot going for it before its misadventures. And I was going, yeah, we need to fix this. Comes out of the ground, has really good motion coming out of the ground, does this curly cue. That bend right there, I'm not 100% satisfied with, but that looks a little extreme. But can I do this without pouring that substrate out everywhere? I can do this if we also enlarge. So you see our Cheerio right there. I think this bend here is a little extreme. Dare I, oops. Okay, let me take that back down and put the tree back in the movie. Okay, sorry about that. And yeah, we're crooked, pretty crooked. All right, I think I probably need to address that one hook bend right there. We will address that. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty then. Except for now, what are we going to do? We were going to straighten that twisted part, that L, out, but then we weren't going to leave it. We weren't going to leave that be for nothing. Come on. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's what we did to this little guy. We put it in a really pretty little pot. We'll go back to we won't take it off the food now. It's a lot greener than a lot of the other ones in bonsai pots because it's been getting fed year round, whereas the other ones have we're on a diet. And it also has the long needles to prove it. But that's okay. It's in a little bonsai pot now and will find itself in what's called the Bonsai Vortex, which means we put it in a bonsai pot, which will restrict its root growth, and we will feed it accordingly, which means it'll be on the same wacky schedule that the rest of the trees that are in bonsai pots are in. And from now on, it will start getting decandled, and it will get needle thinned, and in a minute it'll get watered when I can climb out of here without knocking camera over. But yeah, that's gonna be that for this guy for tonight. I am excited about that. I have always liked the shape of this little tree. I was pretty excited about the little tree we made whenever we first bent this guy. Its motion coming out of the ground, like I said before, is really good. That plug, I probably should have exposed that more. Yeah, we're losing a little bit here of our Nabari. I could have exposed that plug more, but I don't think it looks bad by any means. So yeah, like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Our next drop will be tomorrow. We'll go out in the sunshine and do something nice, and then tomorrow night we'll resume cleaning up a few of these guys. No, they're not all going to hang out here until then, but I'll pick out one or two of these guys tonight that we can start working on for tomorrow. This is just a little quick look at Bean, our little Bean. It's looking pretty nice and enjoying its little bean pot full of biogold. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of come through here, maybe clean out some of the scruffy stuff on a few of these guys, and this is another one. This is another one of our little mames that we're going to bring right along. It made its way out of that Terra Cota pot. So we probably have another 4 or 5 that are in plastic pots or in some form of stacked containers to expand their root size. Now thinking about it, I should have exposed a little bit more of that plug, but I can live with that. It's definitely got good motion, but we're not making the most of our root work. It's not like they're going to go anywhere though. That's a good place to start. I appreciate you. Frida Reba Dorsey appreciates you, and thank you so much for watching.